Joe lost his aunt, so it's a rough weekend for Joe.
Well, he has a doctor's appointment this morning. That's why he's not here.
Well, he also lost his aunt, and so I wasn't expecting him to be here today, no matter what. There we go.
This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is today. Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
Skibbity, 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 spin. Stop! Hammer time!
Return.
I
All
wish
right.
it was that video.
The fuck was that?
What? What did you say, Martin?
I so wish that you lose that video.
Never gonna lose it. Never gonna give you up.
I will hack your
I'm
computer.
gonna hold you in my arms forever. My goodness. So Matthew Marsden and I were joking about growing up in the 80s today with that great little, I think it's an AI video, but it's really fucking good. So I shared it on my Twitter page. What it was like being a teen in the 80s. It was fucking awesome. I tell people all the time, yeah, the 80s, there was a lot of awesome shit in the 80s. We had better toys. Even though the animation, all that shit was good, we had some great fucking video games in the 80s, man. You know, the late 70s going into the 80s is when arcade became a real thing. And 80s were awesome. And that's why people look so fondly on them. Of all the decades where you hear people talk about a decade, the 80s is the one people talk about the most because it was just fucking awesome. That's all I got to say on that for right now. Let's see, we got Andy Morrow, who I was talking to before the show. And Emmanuel is here from France. Good to see you. Bill Barkley from Great Britain. And Sci-Fi Mombi is here. So good morning, everybody. We're going to be talking about a really difficult film. This is a movie that probably couldn't come out today because of its subject matter.
Yeah, I thought you could do that today.
I would have doubts, and it had trouble coming out even in the 90s because the movie got made. It was originally supposed to star Tommy Lee Jones, and he dropped out last second because of another film. It was a scheduling conflict, and that was the only reason he dropped out. He was actually looking forward to doing this movie, but he couldn't do it, and so they went to their second pick and did it. I love Dennis Quaid. I think he's great in this movie, and he proves with that haircut that he could have played Deckard in Blade Runner.
Damn.
He has the exact same haircut as Deckard.
In this picture, he looks like Deckard.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know that he was one of the guys in competition with Harrison Ford for roles. And when he got a movie, a lot of the time it was because Harrison Ford turned it down. One prime example, the Dragon movie, where he's a knight.
Oh,
Dragonheart. Talking Dragon with Sean Connery as the dragon.
I love that movie. The sequel.
Oh, I do too. We need to do that one on our fantasy list. We really do. Put that down. We need to do that too. The Last Dragon, was that it? The Last Dragon?
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart is a great fucking movie. Sean Connery is a dragon. Come on. And we need a proper MC for these shows. I've tried to get Mac to do it. with Anima's cat. And Anima's cat. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, you should put Amelia in the credits.
She does contribute sometimes.
Well, we could put a picture of her up there, like sticking out behind Anima, or over her shoulder. The ZX Spectre.
Wow, you had a one of those? Damn, I have only seen it in pictures.
Well, that's because you're in Venezuela at the time.
Yeah. The first computer that I used
crap
was
in
a
Venezuela.
Commodore 64. So
that's the first system I gamed on outside of school, the school computer.
Oh,
Sci-fi Mambi, you take care. God bless. Hi, Penny.
Bill, that's a tough one.
So, yep, it's Monday. I'm trying to get energized to do this show. So, I don't know. Anyway, the movie itself, they couldn't find a distributor at first because I'm telling you, this is a rough film. And finally, Oliver Stone saw it. And I'm not sure if he saw it on the festival circuit or if he was sent a copy. But I know that he saw the film and immediately said, this movie needs to be released. So he became a producer on the film because he's the one who found them the distributor of Lionsgate, who at that time was kind of a fledgling studio. So Lionsgate released the film, and in the end, we got this movie that for the first time really talks about the ethnic cleansing going on between the Serbs and the Croats.
And the Bosnians, all three of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could say the Serbs against the other two.
More or less, yeah.
Of course, we in this type of situation, we had to remember it was not everybody. It's always a group, a subset from a group that does these kind of things.
Yeah, and our involvement in the war was actually in Bosnia. And in fact, that's where Mac was deployed to, by the way. I don't know if you didn't know. And our job was to police the situation, watching borders. We had no-fly zones, and we flew the no-fly zones. And we made sure that everybody was playing nice, at least in the air. And it's what led to the story within the movie Behind Enemy Lines, and with Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman. And boy, again, I'm going to point out that story is getting weirder and weirder. And by the way, they put it back on the table, the possibility of it being something in the air that may have caused the problem.
Dude, Randy Quaid.
Well, Randy Quaid, look, the problem with Randy is you don't know which part of that is reality and which part of it is paranoid, because he really strikes me as a paranoid.
Yeah.
With mental problems. But
Yeah.
the fact is, some of the stuff he's talking about, I absolutely know is true. But with Gene Hackman, the only thing he brought into the equation was that Gene Hackman was the highest paid royalty actor. That he got more royalty payments than any other actor, because he's done over 100 films, for God's sake. And he's getting tons of money. Every time that movie gets played, he gets money for it. Anytime it's sold, anytime it's rented, he gets a penny, and that adds up. So, but anyway, the movie depicted one aspect of the war, but really, to be honest with you, it's one of the few war films that actually touches on what happened there. This film kind of goes right into the middle of it. That's because the two guys that are making this film, the writer and the director, were deeply involved. One from the area, and the other one was a correspondent in the area who ended up covering a lot of what happened in the war. And the director himself was held as a prisoner during the war. So they both have very strong influences. Originally, in the script, the opening of the film shows the death of the main character, Joshua, also known as Guy or Guy. He kills the drug dealers that sold his wife the drugs that killed her. But that evolved because of the involvement of the director in the film. And he felt that it would have been more believable to have had it done the other way, where he believed it was it's Serbia, right? Which one was mostly Muslim? Because I
Bosnia.
misunderstood a
That's
lot of
Bosnia.
stuff. Yeah, Bosnia. Okay.
Croatia is
And,
Catholic, Serbia is Orthodox, and Bosnia is Muslim, mostly.
which is so weird. And that's, of course, we see in the film an Orthodox Catholic priest that gets hanged when he's hanged at the gate of his church. And a lot of dirty looks in this movie. You see a lot of people shooting each other the stink eye in this movie. And it's crazy how packed in around each other these people were that hated one another. Just a lot of hatred. And this is like generational hatred. It's not just shit that's happening now. But in the end, Milosevic, the leader of the country, he was, what country? I forgot what country Milosevic was the leader of. Which one was it?
It was Yugoslavia when all this went down, and that was a Balkanization war, and that was a mess.
Okay. He was a Yugoslav and Serbian, and he became the president of Serbia. That's what I was asking, Serbia. And he got caught doing war crimes, and that's what he went to prison for and died at the age of 64 in prison. And I wish he hadn't died, because I think he deserved, for some of the shit we found out that he did, and which was the subplot, by the way, of the movie Behind Enemy Lines, was they were trying to get photos of the Serbs committing war crimes. That they were killing these people and putting them in mass graves. And then in that movie, they were planting trees on the mass graves to hide them.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It's a very good film. It's one of my favorite war films. And of course, you can't go wrong with Gene Hackman. Owen Wilson, I was not sure about because he was such a pothead going into that movie. I'm like, but he did a good job.
Yes,
and he did action. I was like, holy shit, Owen Wilson doing action.
The thing is, Owen Wilson almost played the same character that Gene Hackman did in Bat 21.
Oh, that's a good point. It's true. Shot down behind enemy lines. That's right. Good film. And Danny Glover was the one flying the plane that finds him, right? Who flew the plane in Bat 21?
I don't remember.
Was it not Danny Glover, or am I confusing it or conflating it with another film? It's the only Behind Enemy Lines movie. The others are ripoffs. They're just they're crap. I've never watched one of them. Even the one that had Chuck Norris's son in it, or not Chuck Norris. I'm sorry, Steve McQueen's son. I think it was Steve McQueen's son that was in one of them.
I wouldn't know. I haven't mustered the courage to see the sequels.
Wait a minute, what's this? By the way, I watched all 6 episodes of the new Bergerac cop show set on the island of Jersey. Meh, not as good as the original. Also, cop show set in the island of Jersey, but done was way better than this one. One like the first one was Owen Wilson. Oh, I thought you were going to add more to that one. Okay.
Yes, you were right. It was Danny Glover.
Paradise. You and I are
Ooh,
watching,
we need to.
aren't we, Anna?
No, we kind of got caught in the other shows that we're watching. We need to catch up on this one.
Paradise is the one where they're in the mountain, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
we're
underground
caught
city.
Yeah, we're caught up.
We are. Okay.
I like it, but I have issues with certain things that they threw in. You know, his wife, I
I
can't
hate
help
her.
it, but I was rooting for her to be dead because she's such a horrible person. She's a horrible wife, horrible mother, and a horrible person, period. The whole equity thing when she started spouting that off in school, hurting her child's situation. She doesn't give a shit.
I didn't know about that show.
It's very good.
With
It's
Sterling
very
K.
good.
Brown,
It's
I
good
love
history.
that guy.
My two favorite sci-fi shows that are kind of sci-fi and not sci-fi at the same time are Severance and Paradise.
Oh, Severance is great. It
I don't
confuses the
know.
shit out of me, but I enjoy it.
I don't know. I smell another loss with that one. Same shit as From. I told you from day one. From is lost in a town.
Wait, what?
You remember when we were first talking about From, and I told you this is lost
Oh
again,
yeah,
but in
it's
a town.
it's exactly what it was. I was getting worried by season 2 because they were, instead of answering questions, they were just creating new mysteries. And then they would do something, they'd wrap up, and then we'd never come back to it. And I'm like,
Exactly.
what the fuck? And by the end of season 2, I'm like, man, if they don't answer some major questions in the first part of season 3, I'm out. And we were out. Like episode 2, I think it was, we were out. We stopped watching. Okay.
I'm sensing the same thing with Severance.
Yeah. Severance answers questions, but
Yeah.
they do a wonderful job of slowly revealing things. They don't just like, let's create a mystery. That's the mystery of the week. They don't do that. What they do is they have a main mystery and then some minor mysteries. But the minor mysteries are really not as important as finding out what this main one is what is Lumen? And I have a suspicion how I think the show is going to end.
I don't know.
And I think they're going to do probably 3, maybe 4 seasons. And I think they're going to wrap this show up because I think they had a plan from the beginning. And I think I see that ending pretty clearly, that it's something in the way they write that specific character, the redhead, her character, Helly, because I believe, this is my prediction for that show, that they're going to find out that they can live outside and that she's going to become the dominant person in the Severance. When they break the Severance, she will be the dominant person in Helen.
She's the
And
nicest
Helen
person.
herself will dissolve into Helly. And Helly will be the dominant personality. And she will be the one who makes the big change and reveals everything. It's been good so far, Bill. I'll tell you, man. I like the show. I loved Fallout, but it's almost silly to me. It's a fun show. Silo, the thing that broke my heart is because I asked Nerd Cookie if she was going to watch it. She told me she was going to watch it. She watched it, and then she told me that the show deviated heavily from the book in a way that she thought was bad. And that broke my heart a little bit because watching the show made me want to read the book or books, a series of books.
Well,
And to find out that they deviated so far from the books, changing things, made me sad. I don't like that. It's like, I like it better when you find out that they stick to the book. If you're going to adapt a book, you should stick to it. The one time I think they did it right was in that movie, The Cabin or whatever it was called, by M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan ding dong.
The main
Yeah.
difference is
Ah.
that Paradise,
But
that
the
thing
movie's still
recently
filming.
happened. They recently had to move there. Well, in both Fallout and Silo, they've been there for generations. They
Yeah.
don't really know what it's like to
Whereas
be
in
outside
Paradise,
anymore.
these are the founders
Yeah,
that started.
this is first
But they've
generation.
already, they show in the show how they've already begun the foundational lying to keep them there. And you got to figure out who is the villain. Is she really the villain that you are made to believe she is? Or is somebody else pulling the strings? Yeah, IEG is the company that produced the film. And there she is, Nastassja Kinski. And ironically, she is killed before her credits. in the
Yeah.
film.
That is so weird.
It's so weird. She's dead. We never see her again, and her name comes up starring, and she's the second billing in the movie.
Yeah. So you
Yes,
expect at
second
least to
billing.
be flashbacks, but nope. She has
When
like
is
2 minutes of screen
Nastassja
time and that's it.
Kinski?
We see her in Paris. It's supposed to be Paris, but it's actually shot in, was it Quebec or Montreal?
Montreal.
So the France scene is shot in Montreal. He's at the embassy. He walks across the street to the restaurant, the bistro where they're eating, and he finds out that he has to go back to the embassy for an emergency.
Well, his friend picks him up from the restaurant. So
And
he
his
leaves
friend
with
is played by Stellan Skarsgård back when he was still young. And Stellan is really good in this film. This kid should have played Sean Connery's kid in Outland.
Oh,
He does a
yeah.
good job. So he has to get up and leave. It looks like she's drinking what is that? Pellegrin water, carbonated water.
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
That's Italian, though. Wouldn't they have something French?
I don't know. That looked like a Pellegrino bottle. No, they would in Paris. They'd be drinking Perrier, which I love.
Perrier, yeah.
Perrier. But I always joke, like Robin Williams said, if you want to pay $1.50 for a bottle of water, drink Perrier. But I liked it. It's seltzer water. It's carbonated water, and I always liked it. I would drink that in the M&Ms back in the 80s and 90s. Look at that kid. He's so adorable.
Yeah, and he promised him to take him to the movies, and then his friend picks him up. So he says, "We go tomorrow," and that never happens, of course.
You know, because he walks out with his friend to go back into the MCU. Right when they walk through the doors, the restaurant explodes. And I kind of appreciate that they don't show us anybody putting a bomb in, because it's so shocking when it happens.
Yeah, and the
And
worst
the
thing.
scene that makes this movie not shootable today is what Dennis Quaid does after their
The
death.
funeral service.
I'm still
Yeah.
wondering, how did he know that these were the guys?
No, he didn't know. He just said, "Go to
Figured it
any
out.
mosque."
But they end up being the right guys. That was
Well, yeah,
Mm.
because you think, oh my God, because you're so shocked by what he does. And he walks into this mosque and just starts shooting these people. And then he exits standing there in a daze, and his friend comes up and he's like, "What have you done?" And then one of the guys he shot comes walking out with a gun, proving him right that they were armed in there. And Stellan shoots the guy, saving, Dennis's character. And at this point, they have to flee, and they join the French Foreign Legion in order to get new identities.
The thing is, when he goes for him at the restaurant, he says, "We have a bombing alert."
An alert, yeah.
Yes, and the bombing was there.
So he runs back over there, finds his wife and child dead, and all he walks away with is the crucifix that she gave the son that day. It's a brutal film.
Yes, at every corner.
Except for when they walk into the bombed restaurant and they are just lying there. It wouldn't look like that if there was
Oh,
a
of course, but
No,
it
they
would be
can't
way
be
more
that
bloody.
gory.
Yeah, I
He
know.
would not be finding bodies. He would be
No,
finding
probably
parts.
not.
Not probably. That kind of explosion with that kind of debris, they would have been ripped apart. They were right there at the point of the explosion. And this is, of course, security services, the DIA, telling him, we will find him. We'll find out who did this. And he says, you walk into any mosque and you'll find who did this. So this is showing, this is how that kind of hatred begins.
Mm.
That's why this is here. So important in the story. It's showing how this kind of ethnic hatred begins. And really with Muslim, it's not ethnic. People think that, you hear Ben Affleck go, you're being racist. Well, what race is a Muslim? Well, now you're just parsing points. It's like, no, you use a specific word.
Mm.
The word you should have used was prejudice, not racist. Racist means there's a race involved, dumbass. Ben Affleck's an idiot. A brilliantly gifted idiot, but he's an idiot nonetheless. It's prejudice, not racism. And he has a certain amount of prejudice here, as exists in that whole region that's been growing, and his just started. And thank God that's the story. His character arc is he goes into this very dark place where he lets go of his humanity. And in one moment, watching an old lady get killed, he begins to get his humanity back. It's not just for being killed. The way his partner, battle
Who's a
buddy,
sadist?
Well,
he is a sadist.
she gets
cuts
killed
his-
when the bombs hit these houses.
Yeah,
But
she offers him some fruit. And this is them training in the French Foreign Legion. At first, they don't show you what they are. It's at the graduation when you see them put on their headgear. Not this headgear, but the traditional white desert cap. That you learn that's what this training is. I figured it out pretty much at the beginning because I heard what they were saying, and I'm like, oh, the French Foreign Legion.
Dude, I didn't know the Foreign Legion gave them new identities.
That's one of the reasons why a lot of guys do it.
yeah,
But their identities are French. People make that mistake of thinking, oh, you can get a new identity and be German, whatever. No, you are a French citizen now. You've earned your French citizenship by being in the Legion. And I'm pausing here because we're getting into some serious stuff here. Because he immediately goes over there and starts dealing with shit going on with the main crux of this ethnic cleansing and all that. Anyone seen Locked trailer? Locked.
No.
What is this? So familiar?
Well, at this point, they are not deployed in Bosnia yet. This is kind of a montage of different deployments that they have, and this I think is their first deployment.
The answer is yes, Bill. I've seen it. So basically, the story, the arc of the story is how a man loses himself in that hatred so much that he just loses himself. He's gone. He went bye-bye. His heart, everything locked away. He is now nothing but a killer, and he's comfortable with it. You even see at one point that he's quite comfortable with having to kill children because it's his job.
the boy with the goat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they have a no pass zone. You're not supposed to cross this fence line on a bridge. And when the kid tries to go across to get his goat, he smokes him.
And then the goat jumps over the wall. I'm like, what the fuck? You
It goes
silly
right back
animal.
over. You know,
Yeah.
what a fucking asshole. That's why I don't like goats. So you meet this version of Quaid in the film. And they show a couple of times they show it in the training and they show it later that he does a rope tie around a tree to stabilize his weapon. I love that one too, that he holds a pot of water out. There it is. The problem is Dennis leans into it. You can't do that. You can actually damage the barrel. There
That's
they
the
are.
first
They
time
put the
I've
French
seen
Foreign
this
Legion.
technique.
And you will see, I don't know here if it's caught in the slides, but you'll see, what's his name that directed Platoon and worked with my boss? Oliver Stone as a producer. And by the way, you'll also see some of the footage from this film in another little film called
Behind enemy
it's
lines.
about the disease, the Ebola disease. My boss is in it, and Dustin Hoffman.
Oh.
Well, they used parts of it in Behind Enemy Lines too, because they were
Contagion?
shooting in that territory.
Close.
Outbreak?
There you go. Bosnia, 1993. This is a few years later. And he does the tying off again. And my problem is stabilize if you don't have something to sit your weapon on. You can find any object, tie your weapon to it, you know, it's a simple loop. And but you don't put weight on it because you can damage your barrel. And by the way, Daredevil Reborn premieres tomorrow. I meant to answer that question earlier. Now here in the U.S., you saw a mixture of pronunciation, and you'll hear it even if it comes up again. Some people called him Milosevic, and some people called him Milosevic. Because we don't get a lot of the accents on the letters when it's in the press here in the United States.
Anima, any idea how they say it there?
It's
Milosevic.
Milosevic. There's an accent on the C to let you know that it's pronounced that way. And but we don't in the press here. They don't bother with accents.
Well, they
So
don't have them on their keyboards, so
they
unless they
tend
copy pasted
to
from somewhere.
enunciate the name the way it's spelled, and that name so often has a hard C, like in Poland. There you look how young he was there.
The funny thing is that with that language, and I mean Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, it's basically the same. It is pronounced exactly the way it is spelled, which makes it so funny when they take words from other languages and just spell it in their language.
And I do like his rifle.
This is when they split, right? When his friend leaves.
Yeah. The friend is telling him that he's tired and he wants out. I don't think you can quit the...
No, I asked Gerry that. You're there for a certain
you
time.
have to finish your enlistment.
Yeah.
Because if he leaves without it, he's going to go to prison the minute they find him.
Wait. Wasn't it for life, the enlistment?
No.
You can do that, but you don't have to. So his friend decides when the time is
You
over,
have
he's
lifers
done, and he
in
stays.
every form of military. There are guys that are in for life. No, you have a certain tour of duty. You serve that, and then you can get out. But basically, Quaid wants to be. He is kind of a lifer.
He doesn't have
because
anything
he's lost
left.
his life.
Yeah,
he's nothing left. So let me give you some stuff on this. Director Predrag Antonijevic, sorry, was a political prisoner during the conflict that is depicted in the film. So he's speaking from experience. The aerial footage of landing in Africa was taken from the movie Outbreak as this film didn't have big enough budget to film the scene. In turn, the scene of civilians being led from a bus to be executed is reused as a flashback in the movie Behind Enemy Lines later. That's interesting because that film is directly connected to this one because of the war. Although Nastassja Kinski, and I love this, receives second billing in this movie, her screen time is very limited to only a couple of minutes, and she's only seen at the beginning of the film, and her character is killed before her name appears in the credits. And that's just so bizarre to me. I felt like they should have done that earlier, so it wasn't weird. 4 different babies were used throughout the production for the child, the infant, but only 2, there were siblings, played the girl. The other 2 were for like long shots and stuff like that when the other kids weren't available, or if they had to do reshots and they weren't available, like in another country. Quaid is seen using a rope wrapped around his barrel to stabilize his rifle. That is a big no-no. I made that note. Savior was the first film to be shot in Serbia. That's not true. It was not shot in Serbia. This is an IMDb, and they got that. Somebody write that in there full of shit. Now, this is true. Tommy Lee Jones was going to star in this film as Guy, but he dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. The scene set in Paris was shot in Montreal. And this is the funniest one. When you see the poop in the baby diaper, that is actually peach marmalade.
It looks very real.
It really looks like I have changed 1,000 diapers with my kids.
Same with my siblings.
And I'm just going to tell you, it's pretty close when they're that little.
Yep.
Just the unformed poop. Just, oh, it's so gross. So anyway, this lady here, she's just watched some people die, and she's kind of losing it.
Her entire family.
It's her family has been murdered right in front of her. And she's twirling that fruit. And she says some things which is not what the guy translates.
Yeah.
She really likes you.
And when in fact she just tells him to take the fruit.
Please take
there's
the fruit.
a baby in the closet.
Oh yeah.
Hidden.
And you never learn what happens to that baby.
He's the
but I
bad
assume
guy.
since bombs hit the house, the baby dies too.
Oh God, I was gonna say something while the thing was on camera. Hold on, let me back it up. So this is the first villain in the film. Is his battle buddy here, who took his best friend's place. And I like to refer to him as Captain Unibrow. They should have called him Bert. These are jokes that Anima doesn't understand because they had to do a Sesame Street, the Muppets. This poor old lady. That fruit. I don't know what that fucking fruit is. It's not an apple.
I think it's a grapefruit.
No, because I think he takes a bite of one later, and I'm like, what the fuck kind of fruit is that?
Huh.
And what he sees when she tries to hand him the fruit is the ring. So instead of trying to take the ring, he brutally cuts this lady's finger off. Smiling at her. This guy's a fucking beast. Horrible human being. He is also French. See, that's the French Foreign Legion crest on his hat.
Yes. However, he's a Serb.
He's a Serb, yeah.
I just don't know why he has that, but he does.
There he takes
he takes the fruit, puts it in his pocket, then reaches down and grabs her hand and cuts her finger off.
And he's talking nicely to her while he pulls out the knife. I'm like, oh my God. I thought he would stab her, but this is even worse. And then he tells Dennis Quaid's character, just let her bleed to death. She's just a Muslim bitch, basically. It's horrible.
Yeah, I don't like goats, Bill. I don't. I've had too many experiences with those assholes. And they are basically the same personality as cats, but with horns. Cats don't bug me. Goats do.
I think this is when he begins to see that Goran is an asshole.
This troubles him. You can see he
Yeah.
looks away, that it troubled him. Then he looks back at her. This is his humanity trying to, knock on the door. Hey, man, remember me? Remember me? And he walks out, and it's like something's happening to him right at this moment. And I think that what started that move was the death of his best friend. And you haven't even seen that yet. We haven't seen it. But you do see, he asked about 90210. I'm like, what a typical fucking foreign question to ask an American. It's Luke Perry. You know the guy. I want to get those, what did they call them? Sideburns.
He wears a t-shirt with Luke Perry on.
I know it's fucking weird. I don't think they would like a Serb student in Beverly Hills. Some of the humor in this, you almost kind of walk by it because it's done in a very dry way. But I catch the jokes, and I thought they were funny. And here's where he's pointing out that he's clearly American. And this is where the lock breaks.
He sees the kid again.
It kind of confuses me because it seemed like that was like days ago, and if that was the kid, he'd be bloated and probably decomposing.
That's why I said to you that I think there are little problems with editing.
I don't think it's editing. I think it is conflating in his head.
Okay, because this is a flashback.
And he is seeing, that's a different kid. This is a different kid here.
Yeah, because
this is why he shoots the other kid. Because his best friend is getting high, sitting there chilling, wants to hand some gum to this kid. And the kid fucking murders his friend with a grenade. Which is why they put the fence gate on the bridge, that they're not allowed to come over anymore. By the way, very unrealistic grenade explosion. That's a fragmentary grenade. Yeah, this guy's hiding, and he is absolutely in pure PTSD mode. He is in another world, standing there on the edge of this river as these helicopters are firing at them and miraculously missing them.
Well, Goran is under a bus.
French helicopters. And he snaps to, and he walks away under fire and goes back to the house to find the old lady dead. Which I think he wanted to go back there to help her. And there's the priest that you see later.
He went back for the baby.
Yeah, it bothers me that he doesn't check on the baby. He just assumes that.
No, he checks on the baby.
He does?
It's dead.
I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah. That's part of the reason he went back was the baby and the old lady, and both were dead. So
that's the prisoner exchange.
So she's the daughter of a Muslim bastard my father worked for. That's who they're going to be going to get. And the young actress that plays this girl is, in real life, a Muslim actress. She's on the bottom right side of our screen there, that young lady there. She's been in other films, but this is the only one I know her from. And that look right here between him and them is what I'm talking about. That this is foundational, institutional hatred, and it's a mixture of religion and race. It's wackadoodle what goes on there. So they're going to be exchanging for this other girl. So they go to the bridge that's guarded by the UN. And by the way, the UN has been busted many a time, but the media never wants to cover it for gang teams doing things to women and kids. Busted time and time again. The media never wants to talk about it. Mephisto is here. Good morning, my friend.
Hey, Matt.
Or evening for you.
Hello, Mav.
Now he goes out and he does the tree scene again. And again, he puts weight on the weapon.
They should have told him not to do that.
And by the way, his rifle is a Galil. Great fucking weapon.
What I didn't get was
by the
how
way,
is he?
somebody who wants long range shooting, that's what the Galil is good for, because it's got
How
such
is
a long
Goran
barrel.
related to Vera?
I don't know what you just asked me.
Well, I think Vera's brother, he's in the same unit as Goran.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you paid attention to what he was saying, he was banging her.
They had something going on. I'm just.
Which is why he hates her now, because how dare she get RAPED?
He doesn't even consider it that.
No, he looks at her as if she's a WHORE, and he calls her that. No, that's why you need to put additional sights on him. But it's very accurate. I've fired them. And once you sight in on it, I'm telling you, it's a very accurate rifle. I always got center mass. And now they see her and she's Predrag. She hesitates because she knows she's being judged and she feels guilty.
Yeah, because they are brainwashed.
Which is so common.
Yeah.
You
She
know,
absolutely thinks that this is her
what
fault.
happened to them. I feel so bad for her character. I really do. And he's just fucking angry. And filled with hate right now. And again, because a lot of people got confused because he's like, what is she doing here? Oh, and they bring up some of those guys are the Mujahideen, who were the foundational members of what became Taliban, which is why James Bond film didn't age well for that, you know, the third act.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, even Rambo helped the Mujahideen.
I know, right? Mujahideen are the good guys.
For the time.
But he does say something about Mujahideen here. He says, yeah, you don't turn your back on those guys. They're dangerous. They don't fuck around. So this is where he pulls her out and he is going to, he's going to murder her. And he's kicking her belly to kill the baby. And then he plans to kill her. And that's when finally Dennis Quaid's character, D, also Joshua, is fully unlocked.
Yeah, she's going into labor. And he just wants to kill them both.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why
the way he smiles at D when he pulls a weapon.
Guys. Yeah, exactly. He gives him a warning. He says his name, don't. And when the guy starts to raise his weapon, he blows him away.
Girl and just smiles at him like, you're never going to do that, dude. And then he does it, thankfully.
By
That
the way,
guy
I
needs
can't
to
watch
die.
Frequency because it was my dad's favorite movie. And it just, I don't know. It just broke my heart when my dad died. So anyway, he goes into medic mode. Telling her
And
what to
delivers
do.
the baby.
And I love that they actually used the baby in this scene, but
Yeah,
that
it's 2
baby
months
was
old.
not just born. that
No,
baby probably weighs about 14, 15 pounds. That girl did not give
it's
birth to that
big.
baby.
Yeah.
And not that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that fast.
At least they make it sound realistic because she's not screaming.
Yeah,
all the
she's not
time.
screaming, she's
I hate that.
grunting and heaving. And having been involved with many deliveries, I have never heard a woman scream once, but I've heard them grunt and growl. That is what I've heard from women.
That and when they look at their husband and say,
And
"You're gonna
they
for
also
me."
make some noises from exhaustion too. You'll hear things like that, but none of that Hollywood screaming shit. I don't know why they started doing it. It's so fake.
They love fake drama.
It's like, let me tell you something, guys. If you had to shit a football, you wouldn't be screaming. You'd be grunting, panting, and praying to God that it doesn't rip your fucking guts out. That's what a woman does. I loved, Carol Burnett? She goes, if you want to know what it feels like to have a baby, take your thumb and your forefinger and you grab your lip and you pinch it as tight as you can, really hard. And once you really get to the hardest you can, pull it over the top of your head. Now, my fear with her was that they were going to kill her. She was going to die from the pregnancy. But no, she's wants to kill herself, self-delete. So she grabs that rifle to shoot herself. And he stops her. You don't want to do that. And I don't think this is what some people have said was postpartum depression. This is a mixture of guilt, fear, and shame.
It's expected of her. Her own father asked her, why didn't you kill yourself? And she said, I tried at the camp, but they wouldn't let
And this
her.
asshole saved me.
No, she tried at the camp where she was held prisoner.
I just said that. I was continuing what was said as a joke. Because she tells him, I tried.
Yeah.
And then the continued line should have been, because this asshole stopped me. Point at Quaid. Because that's why she didn't.
2 different incidents, Gerry. That's the
second
time.
She tried again in the car. Yeah. But that's different because she tried to actually shoot herself, is what she was talking about. This isn't what she was talking about. This is different.
I'm talking about the scene with her dad later.
Where she has the baby in her lap and she considers opening the door.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the scene with her father, where her father asks her why she didn't.
That's not when she's talking to her dad about doing it. She's talking about in the cave or in the tunnel.
No.
Yeah.
No, Gerry, I speak that language. She tells him, I tried back at the camp, but they wouldn't let me. As soon as they started abusing her, she tried.
That's unseen. Look, the only thing we know about is what she tried to do in the tunnel. And that's talking about stuff that happened that we didn't see. That's silly.
Yeah, man. I couldn't find the subtitles.
I wouldn't have written that in there. She should have mentioned in the tunnel I tried.
You still don't understand what I'm saying.
I understand, and I'm not liking it because we didn't see that. That happened
you don't
before
get-
we met her.
Yeah.
So
Because
it
you don't
doesn't.
get
It
subtitles.
shouldn't have been written in there that way.
It's what
The
it is. I'm
reference
just
should have
telling
been
you.
what we saw. Mine is a writing criticism.
And I'm just translating dialogue that we didn't get
And
subtitles.
I'm telling you, I understand. And I'm telling you, as a writer, that was a mistake to do that.
Why?
Because it took place when we didn't know her. While we actually saw that incident, and that should have been the one that they referenced.
I don't know. By having that dialogue between her and her father, you just know it's
We're
not the
missing
first
stuff.
time.
We're having a stupid argument. This is a dumb argument. So this is her family. And the mother is happy to see her. But daddy comes home not so happy. Her brother is happy to see her. The only one, and this is something you find we have the problem here in the United States. There have been some attempted murders and murders in the United States called honor killings.
Mm.
And that is in a religion at all, that religion needs to evolve. And I tell people all the time, my Muslim friends in particular, the Catholic Church had to reform. So do the others. Welcome to the 21st century.
The thing is, her
We
family,
did it in the 60s.
she's not Muslim. She's Orthodox.
Yeah.
See, this is what's so confusing because she is Muslim in real life. And I got so confused by her actions that doesn't make sense to me now. That an Orthodox would say that. Because
she's Orthodox.
They're against Orthodox Catholic is against, just like the Roman Catholic are against that. It's a mortal sin. Mortal sin means a sin that's committed that can't be forgiven.
But that's why she's expected to do it herself, because she's lost anyway. She's destroyed by what happened to her there.
Yeah, but the thing is, the father makes no sense.
The father's sending her away.
Asking why she didn't makes no sense for an Orthodox Catholic to say that.
I don't know.
Fucking crazy.
Because
it is a mortal sin in Orthodox and Roman Catholic to do that.
I get it, but he is what I see is that
he's acting like he's a Muslim, and that's why I'm confused by this.
No. He's first a Serb, and then maybe Orthodox. He may not be religious, but he's a Serb, and the
French flag on his shoulder.
The fact that his daughter has given birth to a child by a Muslim, that is what is driving him mad. And that, for him, supersedes everything.
Yeah, they would have taken her back if she didn't have the baby. The baby is the problem here. And that's why she has to go. And when they later find Goran's body, that's when he...
Yes, because they ask, where's Goran? That's his car.
Yeah, and she said she couldn't come.
Yeah.
First, we need to have a commercial interruption here.
Ooh.
And, yep.
And now a word from our sponsor, Gerry's Wholesale Sausage Emporium. Are retail hot dog prices making you crazy? Come on down to Gerry's for all your discount dog needs. Was this really the best we could do?
Blue Apron passed.
Okay. Let's get vulnerable, Langley. Let's get sexy. First caller gets 11 feet of Gerry's signature summer sausage.
11 feet, first caller. The phone number is 1-800 go fuck yourself. There you go.
Hi, Zax.
And I'm trying to find a video for him. I don't know where they're put. I keep finding the one. Where's the classic one or the newer one?
It's not here.
What
The
was it?
father doesn't even tell her himself. He sends the brother out to tell her she needs to go. She has no
I
place
don't
there
see it
anymore.
in here either. We need it in here, dude.
Yeah, I don't have it. You need to send me the clip.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
The classic version.
So, good morning, Zax. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good Monday.
Yeah,
at this
he's
point,
trying to help her, and she
he's
doesn't care
kind
about
of
babies.
assuming he speaks English, so he keeps talking to her, and I like that.
And she's completely zoned out, not interested in the baby, not interested in anything at first.
No, she doesn't even want to be alive at this point.
Yeah. But he wouldn't stop helping her.
And I'm hoping, because I sent warnings to Martin that there are 2 tit scenes in this where she goes to feed, tries to find out if she's lactating, and the other one to feed the baby. And you get some close-ups, even though I don't think they're dirty. YouTube probably feels differently. They think it's filthy when you
I
feed
mean,
the
the
baby.
baby is latched, so you don't really see anything.
No, oh no, you see that.
You see the nipple. And everybody knows the nipple is the best part.
Whatever.
I did that just for Anima because then I know what annoys her when I do this. I'm sorry, I'm a bad boy, honey.
Whatever.
Whatever.
That was Rocket Kitty scolding you.
Oh my god, double anime.
Oh God.
It's not
Don't
my
do
fault.
that.
She logs in on my account, so she overtakes mine.
Yes, that's Rocket Kitty, Bill. And she wants
She's
attention.
so insistent.
Yeah, she talks a lot.
So here's the other one.
He was running from something, sir. And then he crashed into a DUI checkpoint, committed 10 felonies, and not to mention FUing a room full of cops.
You FU me all the time.
Fuck you, Kyle!
That's my favorite one right there. That's my favorite.
Oh, the shut the fuck up Kyle
No.
is good too.
But that one's my favorite when she just turns, because he's like, well, you and me all the time. Fuck you, Kyle. So again, you know, the nurturing side of his character is wonderful, that he's doing all this shit. And he's still a badass too.
I think they bring each other to life again here. He discovers his human side again, and she discovers the will to live.
And I got to tell you, Meth, I love that movie. I love that movie. I think it's hilarious. So yeah, Anima's right, because like the situation brought him out, and the situation slowly brings her out.
And she finally
And
starts to talk when he gets shot. And she starts caring too.
I don't know what that kind of meow was.
I don't know what she wants. Oh, she wants in my lap.
Yeah, he God, he was so good. And I love the reenactments of the 1931 Dracula. That was
Oh,
great.
yes.
That alone is what sold the movie to me when I found out they did that. I'm like, okay, I want to see this movie now. And when he goes full beast mode in the apartment complex and goes jumping and lands on that guy and bends him backwards over the rail, I was like, fuck yes, this is awesome.
I love it when he can't find the nipple from the bottle and he improvises with a condom and says, that's the best use I've put these things to.
Yep. Although I'd make sure to rinse it out because most of those condoms come with monoxynol 9.
Whatever that is.
It's a spermicide.
Huh.
I like that sweater. I like to take it from him, beat the shit out of him and take it.
This is when they are talking about Goran, that he's been murdered and that the soldier is guilty, so somebody needs to go after him and take care of that.
Which is weird because the father acts like she did it. And he defends her saying, I killed him. I'm the one who shot him.
Well, she's guilty of everything at this point in her father's eyes.
In everybody's eyes, except
Yeah.
her mother and her brother.
Even in her own, yeah.
I've got to tell you something right now, Meph.
Right.
Aquafina is the most annoying human being on the planet, but absolutely didn't bother me in Renfield because for the first time and only time, her voice fit the character. And again, tell them where they shot all this.
That's Montenegro.
Yeah, we will never cover that film. Say it again.
Which one?
The country they shot all this in.
Montenegro.
Yeah.
Which is neighboring country to the countries that are supposed to be in this, so it absolutely makes sense. Landscape wouldn't look like that.
Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you're having a good day.
Hey, Gambit.
Beginning with another week. You guys can't hear it right now, but the wind is like whining and screaming outside the window. It's so fucking loud.
What?
The wind outside my window right now.
No, I don't know. Oh, forget. Dude, I always have loved the name of that country. Sounds so badass.
Montenegro?
Montenegro.
That's
Black,
you know
Black
what
Mountain.
Yeah, and in the country's language it would be Crna Gora.
Ooh. I prefer the Spanish version.
Yeah, I prefer the Spanish one too. But yeah, Gambit, we will never talk about the new Wicker Man. We may eventually talk about the original because the original is great.
We didn't see the fake shit.
Yeah, this is one of the best parts of the fucking movie is where he's got to wash that fucking gross ass diaper in water. And I'd laugh because you see right down the road they should show like animals or people drinking out of the fucking water. He just cleaned a diaper in.
Meanwhile, in the car, she has drank all the milk.
Yeah, that's selfish bitch. And he calls her a bitch for it.
Well, he also says, I can see where that baby gets the attitude from.
Yeah.
Because that baby cries a lot because it doesn't get the attention that it needs.
Oh.
I like when he rips up his uniform to make a new diaper and presents it to her. What do you think of the new look?
It's the father and the brother.
Yeah.
Who are chasing them.
So he's hauling ass. Yep, he's hauling ass now.
I don't know why they don't give you subtitles because I understand the dialogue and I think it adds.
I think there were subtitles in the original version. So
there should be. It gives you a little extra information in some of the scenes.
Well,
At
not
least she's
really.
holding it now.
This is where she opens the door. And as fast as they're going, she knows it would probably kill her and the baby if they went out.
But she can't do it.
Just look at that baby. There's
There
that
she is,
door.
opening the door.
And then finally she embraces the baby, shutting the door. And that's her shifting gears. Which is why you finally see her crack a smile, because when the goat bests him and he ends up on the ground, she laughs. And he's like, you find that funny, huh?
Well, the first goat he grabs is a boy. He says, "Oh, you're a billy goat. I need a billiana."
You're a billy goat.
That was funny.
And I am
absolutely
curious
failed to
what this
milk the
movie
goat.
would have been like with Tommy Lee Jones. I am curious. Because he was set to play this character.
They absolutely speak Serbian. They do.
Oh yeah, the fake stuff. Yeah, they use
It's
real.
not fake language. It's real.
Yeah, funny thing about Anima was she'd work in restaurants and they'd come in there and talk shit and not realize that she understood what they were saying, and she'd respond back to them in their language.
I had that at the job that I'm currently working. There are a couple of guys who speak Bosnian, I think, and Serbian. And they're constantly talking amongst themselves. And at some point, I just joined the conversation and I got stares. Like, the fuck? You speak that?
I'm going to tell you, when all parties show their cards, Zelensky's going to be held accountable for war crimes, and he will be in The Hague. You watch. And I'm not saying maybe next week, maybe next year, maybe 10 years. I'm just telling you, he is eventually going to be tried for war crimes.
Well, I don't know. The whole of Europe is protecting that guy
right now. But we have there are leaders in Europe that are fighting, including what's her name, Maloney in Italy. She's very much against what's going on.
Britain
They may
and
try
France
to kill her.
too.
Italy still
Macron,
remembers.
piece of shit. I don't like Macron. Him and his foreign wife. Don't any of the tits in this country work?
That was a fun line too. And then he sees
And
her
then
feeding her baby.
He sees her feeding her baby. Because she nourished herself, she was able to finally produce milk.
It usually takes a while. You don't pop out the baby and then immediately have milk. That's not how it works.
And now something bad happens. You can't have something good happen and not have something bad happen. That's this movie.
It's like a Greek story.
So in my news feed, I just looked over. It says Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man may make another appearance in the MCU.
Damn. Thank God for CGI. Because Tom is no spring chicken, let me tell you.
Well, they got to keep him at his age. They need to show how many years gone by. He hands her the pistol. Why didn't you? She says what she says. And then it looks like he's about to shoot her. And that's when Quaid runs up and then he takes a bullet. And then, ironically, she leaps on top of him to prevent him from being shot any further. The only thing good about this wound is the fact that it's an in and out. But you got
And
to
the
check for
reason
fabric.
the reason the father doesn't take the shot is that her brother tells him, Gohan was an idiot. They both know that this guy was a fuck up and had it coming.
Absolutely agree with you, Gambit. And if Emanuela's still here, she'll agree too. Even though she has to be careful, just like in the UK, you guys need to be careful what you see in social media and online. It can come back to hurt you, Bill. I don't want to see you guys in trouble. Criticizing your own government, man. Criticizing their decisions get you put in prison.
Dude, they are moving so I believe that within the next 5 years they're gonna try to make it illegal to criticize another government because they
That's
are
where they're headed. It'll be all one world government. If they have
Mhm.
their way, that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, you can't talk shit about anybody. You can only talk about things that they promote. The government. You know, if they hate something, then you're allowed to hate it. He goes, "Oh, it's
allowed.
not very deep," and she goes, "No, it's very bad. This is very bad. We need to stop the bleeding." And the worst part is because it's an in and out, but it was shot through fabric. So if fabric ended up getting pulled into the wound, it will lead to sepsis and could kill him very quickly. What's this one? I did miss this one. Yay, a biology lesson from Anima. Holy shit. Oh, that's a burn. She looks a little bit like Timothy Chalamet.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah,
She looks like
Timothy's prettier.
no, she looks like a beautiful woman. Timothy looks like a ugly woman.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's pretty feminine.
he is. And not good looking, I think. I don't get the hype around him anyway.
What can I say?
But I wasn't the one talking shit about countries. Yeah, I live in America, and still currently I can talk shit about my own country or Canada. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Speaking of Canada. And Anima didn't know that song. I know it was nominated. Did it win?
No,
I can't remember.
but dude, Emilia Perez won Best Song.
What one?
Emilia Perez won Best Original Song.
Oh, Madonna?
No, I don't know which one.
If it's the Perez film, it's her. You know, don't weep for me or don't cry for me, Argentina.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, fuck her. She couldn't sing worth a crap.
Okay.
Garbage movie. I'll never watch it. I love the musical. I saw the musical.
What are we
Juan
talking
Perez. Juan Perez.
No,
And his
no.
wife,
Emilia Perez, the movie about the.
That's new. I'm not talking about it. I was talking about Trey Parker's song.
Oh.
Are you high?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, I won't talk about that movie or say its name. It's another one of those things I won't say the name of. It's garbage.
You see, math gets me.
The Blame Canada. No, Blame Canada did not win the Oscar. It was nominated
No, yes.
at the 72nd, but lost to Phil Collins. You'll Be in My Heart. I'm sorry, Blame Canada was better than that stupid Tarzan song.
Yeah, but the whole political correctness shit,
I loved that Robin Williams came out and performed it at the Oscars.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never watched the Oscars.
And that was the last Oscars I watched. That was the very last. 72nd. And because up to that point, we used to have bets. And then you can't bet on the Oscars anymore because all you got to do is just know how woke they are, which film will get what actor will get what, because it's a solid bet.
They're just not worth anything anymore.
This is where they spot soldiers walking people to their deaths. They're going to kill them.
And he wants to help, but she tells him there's nothing we can do.
Okay, Penny.
See you later.
He'll be back. Yeah, any of the awards now are all ego strokes and about, identity politics. And so whatever is the most identity political will win. The one that's most woke will win. And it's just, they couldn't be more obvious. And they get up there and they like to grandstand and talk politics. I heard that De Niro did it last night, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so shocked.
Dude, the thing has going so out of hand that I left it like Josh Brolin, he quitted Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because of that.
He's a liberal. No, he's not a lefty. He's a liberal. And I keep telling people there's a difference between classic liberals and Hollywood old school liberals and what we're seeing today. They're different animals. Heath is your classic liberal. He's a bird dog Democrat. And how far left do you have to go when you start losing people of your own party? They're just like bailing on them. They're bailing on them left and right. And that's why they needed illegals in the United States to compensate and to grow. I forget what 0 Day is about. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I don't know that movie. Let me check.
Honora. I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
No idea.
Best movie this year should have been Nosferatu.
Elaborate on Honora. I don't know what that is. I absolutely agree with you.
It's a mini-series of 6 episodes. It says, in the midst of a crisis, how can we discover the truth when it seems that the world is being destroyed by uncontrollable forces? It's on Netflix.
The minute you put Netflix on it, I tend to just tune out. So, because it's so rare to find anything good on Netflix that's new or that they're involved with. So Honora is good. All right, I'll go look it up.
What is that about? Sex?
Weren't you just describing it?
No, Honora. I don't know what is.
Well, that's what I just asked what it was about, and then you started talking about something about a world in. So then you're still talking about 0 Day.
Yes, I was talking about 0 Day.
Because I had just asked what Honora was about, and then you started going into a description. All right, so, but I know for the Substance game, Demi Moore, there's only one movie called The Substance I care about, and it's made in the 80s. It's called The Stuff. It was produced by Roger Corman. And Nora's about Russians.
Yeah, Russian mafia, and oh my god, I'm seeing the synopsis. Is a young escort from Brooklyn meets and impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch. That is not going to end well.
Yeah, the one film about Russians that I really liked was not David Lynch. What's his name? Cronenberg film, Eastern Promise. And I still want Anima to watch that with me. The only scene that freaks me out in that movie is the fight in the bathhouse, and it's so disturbing for a man to watch that, because that is a nightmare for men, to have a blade fight with their dicks hanging out. Just like, oh god. And I think that's why Cronenberg put that in there. He's a body horror guy, and he knew that would freak guys out. The original Blob, not so good, but yes, the remake is one of the few remake films I will say absolutely superseded the original. Is a better film, and it's a great plot. And I kind of hope there would be a real sequel to it, but nah. So what's interesting about this couple that's helping them is they are a religious mixed family. The husband is Catholic and the wife is Muslim. And they live in absolute harmony and peace with one another, which is a symbol within the film. What could be found. And I like that painting. Well, it's a photo of a painting of the Mother of the Sacred Heart. I think the first time I read it was in French. Matre des Sacré-Cœur, something like that. You are called Guy or Guy.
Yes.
I saw that in the theater with my 3D glasses.
Yep, me too.
And it was pretty bad. But I got to tell you, Dennis Quaid makes anything fun. It's still enjoyable. And I was always upset that they killed Simon McCrackendale in that.
He was my favorite character in that movie.
Yeah, he was really good.
Biologist.
The cocky marine biologist gets smoked by the shark. Gets caught in the tank, I think, or some shit like that.
Yep.
And it grabs him because he tries to hide in a pipe or some shit, and it still gets him. A lot of people don't know like the path of the films, because like in the first film, it's a male shark. Second film, it's a female shark that was the mate of the other shark, which doesn't make sense because I don't recall sharks mating that way.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But she was like angry or some shit that they had killed her baby. The book gives you so much more, and even in the book of Jaws, Benchley wrote, the first book, has organized crime involved. And the second book really goes into the organized crime running of that town. And it led to the baby shark being killed or some shit. And then at the end, she has another one or something. And that's the one that becomes the shark in Jaws 3.
Yes. And the shark in Jaws 4 is the mother of all of them.
Yeah, some shit like that. It's fucking ridiculous. I did enjoy Jaws 2. I did enjoy Jaws 2 because it was fun. I got to admit, it was a lot of fun. But Jaws is a standalone movie, and they should have never made any sequels. This lady is so sweet.
They both are. I like that old couple.
Absolutely. In fact, this film was compared to Enemy Mine in his behavior as a character. That he's very similar to the character he played in Enemy Mine. There's similar themes. The baby.
That's life, man. That's life. Nothing changes a person like a baby.
And by the way, Gambit, I can proudly say I've never seen Jaws 4. I remember when it came out on VHS, and like I think it was Patty. I was still with Patty, and Patty asked if I wanted to see it. I went, no, I don't want to see it.
Dude, I saw it once, and it was horrible.
When I heard that the shark roars, I was like, no fucking way. And I love Michael Caine's answer to it. He said, that movie bought my new house. Paid for it. And that's why he did it. He wanted it. That money went straight into paying for his house that he got, him and his wife.
Well,
Tim,
well,
what's up?
who's here? Here we go.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
She's about to walk off. I
To
remember
catch a bus.
the first time I saw this, I'm like, I've got a bad feeling about this. Separating, not a good idea. And he convinces her to leave the baby.
Well, he cannot really walk with his wound, and the baby's going to slow her down too.
And this leads to that scene, that part of which was used in the movie Behind Enemy Lines. Yep. And when watching this, I was like, man, this is going to be great if they can get the hell out of there. If they could just get the split, and Anima will help her.
Yeah. No, there's a
very
refugee
naive.
center. There's a refugee center there, and the Red Cross, and that's where she's headed.
Yep. And she ends up going to find transport. And he gets up, looks over to his left, and under the boat, there's clearly
an
a dead
arm in
person
the
there.
water.
And by the way, that's not been there for long. Because
No,
if it had been there for a while, there'd be film and it'd be bloated.
because what they're about to
what he-
do, it's not the first
That's what
time
he's
that they're
looking
doing it
at.
there.
That last shot was him looking at that arm in the water. It's not in the slides, so I had to tell you. I was afraid it wouldn't get caught. So he decides to climb up and go inside this boat to hide out and wait for her. And they meet a little noisy kitten. Loud
That
kitten
ends up
that
saving their lives.
saves their lives because he hears the baby, but the kitten sounds so much like a baby, he just assumes it must have been the kitten that he heard. And it leads to a scene that just is devastating, and it reminds me of something I saw when I was younger, where a woman accidentally kills her baby by smothering it, trying to keep it from crying, and smothers the baby.
Thankfully, he gets to revive that baby.
Yes. Oh God, this scene gets to me every single time I see it, man.
She's Serbian, Gambit. This movie is so hard to watch.
The military vehicle in front was what was really concerning. I'm like, oh shit, that's a military vehicle. This is not good. They're either there for him or they're there for the bus.
And
that's what they do. They pull everybody off the bus, and they this guy is so fucking cruel. Good actor here, by the way. Very good actor. He played Tesla in a made-for-TV movie I saw. It's really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he played Nikola Tesla.
There
He's an
are
actor,
levels.
producer, and director. He has this. He has that look. It reminds me of Tesla. That pointy, long nose, thin nose, downward mouth. So this guy comes out of the bus and he's got a golf bag full of fucking mallets and shit that he's gonna beat some people to death with. This guy calmly shaves. And she's looking, oh my God, her eyes are haunting. And he has the rifle and he's scoping and he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. And she looks at him and shakes her head no. Don't protect that baby.
And then she starts singing.
Yep, that song. And they show him hitting people. And that's the part that gets to me. Now, I'm sure they're foam rubber, but I don't care.
I couldn't watch this. I had to look away.
And everybody's looking at them, and she's looking at him. She's looking directly at Guy and communicating with him. And when they go into the water, she begins singing, which means
the baby doesn't cry. She's singing so to prevent the baby from crying.
Also to say goodbye, I guess.
Yeah.
Because she knows what's about to happen.
And the minute she starts singing, he cuts himself. I like that.
Oh, I didn't catch
That song
that.
must have meant something to him.
Well, it's a very popular lullaby for babies. Every mama sings that to her kids. That's the baby smiling.
Baby is almost as adorable as the baby from Willow.
Willow?
Oh, yeah, that was a sweet baby.
Laura Dannon.
God damn.
The brutal film.
I don't understand some certain things.
People, man. People can do some amazing, wonderful things. And some people are just fucking evil. Oh, the scene of the duck hitting the water. And it's injured, dying. I don't know how they did that. I really don't. It says at the end of the film, no animals were harmed in the making of this film. So I don't know how they pulled that off.
That's right, Gambit.
You got to have good in you. And if you don't, you do shit. You become people like this. They're out for power, control, money. Money means power. Yeah, when you hear people say that they love money, what they're telling you is they love power. And that's when he hears, he's like, about to go. They're about to fucking go. And the baby makes a cry and he crawls into the forward on the boat, up into the bow. He's like ready to shoot. And that fucking kitten comes walking out and he picks the kitten up, loves the kitten. Oh, I love kittens. I just don't like babies.
And he takes the cat with him.
Typical cat lover, doesn't like babies.
Hey, that's not true. That is
full of
not
shit,
true.
Gerry.
I love babies and I love kittens, so you know I'm making a joke.
That dude doesn't deserve a kitten.
And he kind of reminds me right there, he reminded me of a young Richard Harris.
There's the cat.
Cat's like, meow. Oh, you're what was making the annoying noise. And right before he leaves, he takes one more peek back, but he's got the baby. He's got his hand over the baby's face, and then he realizes, "Oh my God, I fucking smothered the baby," and he starts thumping her on the chest because the heart's probably going. The heart's probably still going. It's just not breathing. So he's got to get the baby to breathe again. So what you do is you poke on the diaphragm, push.
And thank God
Like
it works.
it's like a drowning victim. You're trying to make the diaphragm to start working again, that muscle.
The relief when that baby started to cry again. I would have had a problem if the baby had died at this point. Yeah, like that's going to do something. Tell people to stop breathing again. It's so goofy when they do that.
People do that. They think it. Some say it. Now that was very realistic, having the baby vomit.
Yeah. They were good with the baby stuff, except for the baby being way too big for a newborn.
Except for the birth scene. It's like, Jesus Christ, the hell? She got like a hole in her the size of a fucking cannonball? Jesus.
Well, a baby of that size coming out so quickly, that would have destroyed her.
And boy, I would not have gotten on a bus after that. And the first thing he does, he gets on a fucking bus, and I'm like, I'd be fucked if I'd went. I'd be walking the rest of the way. Yeah. I remember the news at the time. I was in the military for part of that. Because that was the other thing. After the first Gulf War wrapped up, was the potential of being sent to Bosnia. And that's where Mac ended up going. He was a RTO, radio operator. Communications.
Now he needs to use the last thing he has left from his family to pay for the bus ride to Split.
The last thing left to him from his wife and son, because she gifted it to the son, is that 14 karat solid gold crucifix.
What I found funny is that the currency...
300 fucking marks.
German marks. Why are they using that currency in that region? That confused me.
I have no clue. 300 German marks. And it's like, that's a lot of fucking money.
Or as the bus driver says, 300 maraka. Before he translates for him.
Yeah. And I don't think this film, like today, you would not see this film today. The 90s was probably the last time you could have gotten a film like this. And Oliver Stone is the reason why we got this film. Because nobody wanted to touch it. And he saw it and became a producer on it and made a deal with Lionsgate to distribute. And of course, the woman that watched him on there, I think she's wearing a beret with brown hair, blue eyes. She's been watching him the whole time on the bus with the baby, and then he's asking about where the Red Cross is, and she's the one who actually gives him directions, and he goes feebly walking over there, because I'm telling you right now, if he chill with the makeup, he's dying right now. That wound has started the process of becoming septic. And
but he doesn't have it in him to seek medical help. He just wants the baby to be safe. He doesn't care about himself anymore.
He puts the baby in the car. And this is supposed to be split, which it's obviously not split.
It is so not split. It could maybe stand in for Rijeka, that's up north, but not split, no.
So he leaves the baby, and she's giggly, and then he leaves her and goes over to that little pier.
He puts a piece of paper on her too, and gives her the name Vera.
Her name, Vera. Puts the name on there. Then walks over to that pier, and there's a bench out there. And he throws his scope, rifle, his passport, and probably
he rips the picture out of the passport.
And throws it into the water. And then pins down to his knees at the side of the bench and just collapses on the bench. And I remember watching it going, he's okay. He's okay with just dying right now.
And he's not in a hurry because he could have used his weapon, but.
And he tells her, I love you too.
I've seen the question, Bill. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I've not seen it. I'm not big on animation anyway.
What was the question? I don't know what the question was.
Have I seen a movie called Flow? This one.
I'll find it. It sounds interesting. She wasn't big on animation until me. Now she watches animation. But this is such a beautiful scene. And I thought that was gonna be the end. That he knows she'll be found and he can finally die. And there he tears out his photo, throws the ID away. It's such a bizarre, story. But it is very much like Enemy Mine. It's very similar.
Well, getting that baby to safety was his last purpose in his eyes.
Yeah. Save that baby. And I can't believe he threw this in the fucking water. Man, he could have sold that in the black market, man.
He doesn't need money anymore. He doesn't care. He's done. Until that young lady from the bus comes and brings him the baby.
And she says, are you this baby's dad, father?
And he says, yes, she's mine. And it's such a sweet moment because that's when he realizes he still has a purpose. He can make sure that baby grows up and is happy and tell her about her mother.
Under his assumed name. Because he'll go to prison if he goes to America. He has to stay in France. He's a French citizen.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Legion may be looking at him as a deserter at this point.
No, because he was wounded. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll explain what happened. I think he would be fine. This has many heartbreaking moments.
She's going to take them to a hospital because she knows where he is.
It's such a tough film. It really is. It's brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Brutally honest. But it's a film everybody should see. At least one.
Yeah, it's like Schindler's List. It's educational to watch it.
And seeing him stand up and walk with her tells you he's going to be okay. That's why they show it. There's humor in it, but it's really sparse, far and in between, because the movie starts at such a fucking horrible scene. And how do you find humor in that? And what it is it's because she laughs. It's her character that allows you to finally go, oh, I can laugh at something. And it's when he's trying to get milk from a billy goat and then trying to find
Billiana
goat. I need a Billiana
goat.
Oh,
you're a billy goat. I need a Billiana. That he trips over. the goat, and that's what cracks her up.
Yeah, and that's it. When she laughs, you finally feel like the first moment of relief, and immediately it's followed by another brutal moment. And it's like, oh my fucking God, this movie doesn't let up. And again, Tommy Lee Jones was set to play this part, and he had a scheduling conflict for another film. It could have been Men in Black. I don't know what it was. It was. They shot this film in '96. It was ready to be released in '97, and it just didn't get picked up. It wasn't until Oliver Stone saw a copy of it that he got it released in '98 through Lionsgate. So we're lucky we got this film at all. I sometimes wonder the only way we would have got it otherwise is probably bootleg. That somebody leaked it out finally. Because that does occasionally happen with movies.
Like Fantastic Four.
Yeah, there you go. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Martin and I thought of the same film at the same time. When somebody really wants a film out there, they'll find a way to get it out.
Gambit, they used 4 babies. They had twin sisters, and then they had 2 other babies for when they went out.
Twin sisters played the character, switching back and forth, but the other 2 babies, I do believe, were used for not close-ups. Not stunt doubles. Jesus Christ.
Well, the scene in the car where she almost drops out of the car.
That was a stunt baby.
Stunt baby, yeah.
Jesus Christ, Martin.
Imagine having that on your CV, stunt baby.
There were what we call fake ships, where they don't have to see the face, baby from behind, baby being held, but you have to have a baby because for realism, the hand movement, shit like that. They'll use other babies. Also, if they had to do reshoots or shots where the baby wasn't available, that they would use a baby double, and that's probably what the other 2 babies were baby doubles, not stunt doubles. Martin, you evil bastard. Yeah, just in case, man, they did the scene where the baby had to go out the door. Yeah, and they had to get a stunt baby. Took place in Bosnia and Herzegovina, yeah, between 92 and 95. So this is about 30 years ago. Yeah, you're about right.
In reality, it was a 5-year-long conflict because it wasn't one specific conflict.
No, it was the different countries that Tito forced to be Yugoslavia wanting their independence, mixed up with some fucked up ideas about ethnic cleansing.
So, I was going to give somebody an explanation as far as the Ruskies go. I'm not going to say the other word. The reason why they're up in arms over everything and why all of this took place up there is because NATO keeps going back on its word. It's pulling an Adolf, promising things and then doing the opposite. And like invading Poland. And so every time NATO encroaches on the border of the Ruskies, they breach the agreement they had with the Ruskies. And that is what led to what's going on right now. So you break your word with somebody, and NATO keeps pushing this stuff. And that's why we will leave NATO. And that's getting ready to happen. And we are going to probably leave the United Nations. And I got to be honest, they should be kicked out of the United States. Because when you create an organization called the, what is it, the humanitarian group that they created. Nobody.
Are you talking about UNICEF?
No, not UNICEF. I'm talking about the United Nations countries notorious for breaking humanitarian rights. They put them in charge of this organization to make sure other people aren't. And they keep saying America. America is one of the greatest sinners against humanitarian rights. It's like, okay, you can now go totally fuck yourself. They're shills, and they're New World Order shills. The UN is there about they're big Soros supporters. So
in my
that's all
opinion,
I'm going to say on that. We need to kick them out. We need to kick them out.
In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, nobody else shares it, but I think NATO is becoming the armed branch of the WEF.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Because, I mean, when they started to act like they were going to threaten to invade us over, certain weapons control, Americans went, like, try it. This isn't the military or the government saying it. It's American citizens. Try it, boy. See what happens. Mm-hmm. Countries that are well armed tend not to be invaded, where the citizens are armed. They tend not to be messed with. So just saying. Yeah, I don't even listen to them because it's just a bunch of hokum. I don't buy it. I feel bad for Anima because that's all they get there where she lives. There's hardly any actual free press. She gets news from mostly from the Soros-controlled news companies that he owns. That's what they get.
You should never rely on newspapers only if you want news.
Yeah,
that's
use
worldwide.
the internet.
Yes.
Oh, I know. It's like I think they narrowed it down to 6 or 14 news agencies that are all owned and controlled by those 6 to 14 companies or people. So that's not good. So just saying. Anyway, that's it. We had a good run for this show today. If you've never seen the film, you need to watch it. It's an important film. I think it's a historically important film and a mostly forgotten film. And it's sad because nobody really talks about that war anymore. They don't talk about what happened. And it's
believe me, having lived in that region for 5 years, they do. It is absolutely still a topic.
Sure, there. But not here.
The rest of the
I
world,
guarantee you probably not even in England. It's not something that's really talked about because it's so far away and it really didn't impact us. And,
no, the rest of the world is desperately to forget that because that was a failure of negotiations.
Oh, yeah. So, and there you have it, man. Savior, starring Nastassja Kinski for 4 minutes and Stellan Skarsgård for about 15 minutes and Dennis Quaid for the whole movie. So you get Dennis Quaid for the whole movie. So don't feel ripped off if the others die.
Well, none of the other actors are well known, so that's probably why the movie is kind of forgotten.
Oh, the foreign cast. Yeah, it's like she's been in stuff, and I don't remember all of them. I could go look at them real quick. Give me a second.
This was her fourth movie, if I recall correctly.
Natasha Ninkovic. I've never heard that name before. That's Vera.
I like how you pronounce that. Say it again.
Natasha Ninkovic.
No, the character's name.
Vera. That's how they say it.
So she is Serbian. She is Muslim and born in 1972. She went to primary and secondary school in, I'm not going to try that one. And,
actually, I clicked on her name in IMDb and it says she's born in Bosnia.
Yeah, it says she was born in that place I'm not going to say.
Trebinje.
Also, Yugoslavia then, Bosnia and Herzegovina now. Then I'm not going to try to say that name again. And then some other names I'm not going to try. And she married another name I'm not going to try.
Nenad Sarenac.
And she had twins, Luka and Matiha. That's a pretty name. I like both those names. Luka.
Luka is a very common name.
I like that
Matija
name.
too.
My Name is Luca is the name of a song. If anybody from the
Oh
80s
no,
remembers.
please, no, that song. No.
I hate that song.
Oh, it breaks the heart if you know what it's about.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's about child abuse.
Awful.
It's she feels bad for this little boy. It's fucking getting beaten. Anyway, she was in a film called The Best, 3 Tickets to Hollywood, Pharmacy of whatever that word is, Prince Michael, Savior, The Family's Treasure, War Live, Serbian Dane, Master, Ilka. She's in The Professional. What the fuck?
Oh my God, Bill.
Oh, not the same film. Not the same film. Okay. Whew. I was about to say, what? Mixed Marriage. I have something important to tell you. God, she's in a lot of movies. A lot of Serbian television. That seems to be what she really does. Is she stayed there in Serbia and just acted. Death. One of the last things she did in 2012 was The Death of a Man in the Balkans. And then she was in a film. I heard of this film. Dara of Jasanovic is a 2021 Serbian historical drama film. Yes, I know this film. I do. I need to go find a copy of this. She's in that.
Oh, she has 3 upcoming projects.
And it's directed by the same director. So now I need to see it. Yeah, it's Predrag that directed this film, directed that film. All right, I'm going to be getting that film. I'm going to leave that open so I can go find a copy. So, but that's it, guys. We are done now.
Are we?
Yeah, Natalie Port. Yeah, what are we talking about Natalie Portman for? Oh yeah.
No.
Okay, that's how that got started. Okay, so yeah, Skarsgård's got some talented kids, man. I'll give you that. But The Crow, garbage. I won't watch it. I did like him in It, and I liked him in Nosferatu.
And in Boy Kills
Oh wait,
World.
he was
I
really
like
good in
that
that.
movie.
He was in the TV series on Hulu. It's based on Stephen King creations, but it's not Stephen King. It's J.J. Abrams. It's actually a good show. Where does this stuff always say? Castle Rock series. He was in the 3rd season, I think, or 2nd season.
What? Gambit? What? No, my friend. I'm sorry, but
some people don't like mustaches, man.
Yeah, but the rotting corpse look of the body
that was very well done.
It was fucking gross, and if it grosses me out,
it's good.
It's good. It's good makeup. That's all I got to say on that. And I was not terrified, but I was disturbed by the movie.
It's a very tense movie.
Somebody says, "What scares you?" I said, "Losing my daughter." That's the only thing I'm ever afraid of, losing my kid. And now I fell in love with someone, so now I've got something else to be afraid of losing her.
Isn't he sweet?
Nope. The mustache is appropriate considering
Absolutely for the period, yeah.
Yes.
They sported those mustaches. He did his research, and I did too.
Remember, he was no nobility.
I mean, you look back at even Vlad, the Impaler. He had that fucking mustache.
Yes.
Yeah, because you go back to Vlad the Impaler, Dracula. They had those mustaches. So, no, historically, it's very accurate as far as that, and also what he wears. What creeped me out also is when he stands up in the casket, and I don't know why that disturbed me. It just was fucking disturbing that he's in that casket naked, and I'm just like, ah. Yeah, I like the film. Tom and I wanted to do one of our Saturday shows talking about the film. We both liked it very much. Look, the 77 one or 79 one is good too, but it's Dracula. It's not that he actually went so far as to do Dracula, but I'll tell you with that film too, he used the folklore from another film, which is a film that I've talked to Andre about doing, and I've asked him to join us when we do it, is a true deep dive into the film The Fearless Vampire Killers, also known as Dance of the Vampires.
I need to be honest about the Kinski movie. It's an okay movie. I don't think it adds or subtract to the myth. But the only thing that I really, really loved was the ending, that the Harker becomes a
Gets away
vampire.
and runs off to spread the disease around the world, which is what that ending was to represent, which is why you see that same location with the ocean early in the film, and later it's when the tide is out and you see instead like dust blowing, like water flowing over the sand. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. That's why, he's one of my favorite directors, Werner Herzog. I've seen all of his movies and I fucking love them. And so that's it. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. I've got to go pick up some medication. Look, he's not Poirot. If you've read the books, he's an egg-headed little guy. He's short and egg-headed. He has a pointed head. That's why Suchet is the most accurate Poirot.
And that is why Tom Cruise will never be Reacher.
Oh, God,
Exactly.
no.
Reacher is a big fucking dude. And the TV version is much closer. But I want to point out again, that's the company he's tied into that's involved with the making of that
Yes,
show.
Tom Cruise is like, because he's a fanatic of those books. That's why he did the movie, because he said nobody else is gonna do it. Okay, I will do it.
At least try to. And I still look, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the first film. I've never seen the second one. I just wasn't interested. I have it on my hard drive, never watched it. I have movies on my hard drive I've never seen because it just, I don't know, not interested. So I don't know. There you go.
Skibbity, 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 spin. Stop! Hammer time!
That is so fucking weird.
I'm gonna hack your computer and delete that shit.
With that, that means we're at the end of the show. We will be back again Wednesday with something else. I don't know what. I lose track.
Birdcage.
Oh, yes, and Mephisto will be joining us for that. We're going to be doing the American version of La Cage aux Folles, which is not a funny film. Well, I have a Mustang.
Yes, he still has it.
It's connected to my Van Dyke here. So
I
this
think
is a Van Dyke.
what he's addressing is that you used to diet and you haven't done it in a while.
Oh, you're making a joke about it being gray and invisible. All right. Fuck you, Bill.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, so
that's it. Show's over.
Goodbye to everybody that's in the chat. Andy Morrow, Emmanuel, Bill Barkley, Sci-Fi Mombi dropped in, Penny, Snortopupus Cuber, let's see, Mephisto's movie reviews, Zax, and Gambit. And did I miss anybody? Because sometimes those names get left out of there. It embarrasses me if I don't say somebody's name. It's everybody. All right, good. Everybody that's watching on Twitter, everybody watching on Rumble, everybody watching on YouTube, have a great day today. And we'll see you again Wednesday for The Birdcage with Nathan Lane, Robin Williams, and Gene Hackman. So we're going to be watching quite a few Gene Hackman films because he's one of my favorite actors of all time. And I love the guy. Also, a Marine. Guy was a veteran, so love the guy. And everybody have a great day today. We'll see you later. And with that, anybody else want to say bye? Okay, there
Bye,
we
guys.
go. Right. There we go.